Let's start practicing what we've been explaining, one thought at a time. These I statements were carefully chosen to help you shift, to meet you where you are, and gently lift you up. Just read, listen, and feel better. You'll see the full range of the emotional scale, from the heaviest thoughts to the lightest ones. If something doesn't resonate, simply let it pass and stay open to the next thought. This is where the real work begins. This is not a performance. This is not a race. This is emotional movement, one thought at a time. You don't need to believe everything right away. You don't even need to feel better immediately. You just need to stay open, to stay curious, to sit on one new thought long enough to feel it shift. Let's do that now. I feel stuck. This isn't drama. It's a condition, a fog, a slowing down of life. Sometimes it feels like my very will is missing. I know I've tried to shift my mindset, tried to feel better, but nothing sticks. No spark, no pull forward. And then I wonder, of course, maybe it's me. Maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe I'm not wired for momentum like others. Maybe I'm just lazy. But even as I think that, I hear it. That's not the truth. That's the exhaustion talking. The fact that I'm here, listening, still reaching for something better, that proves I haven't given up. And that flicker of wanting, even when I feel dead inside, is not small. It's not weak. It's the ember that becomes a flame. That ember flares, and it's not joy. It's irritation. It's fire. It's I'm done with this. I'm sick and tired of feeling like I'm watching my life from the sidelines. Tired of holding back. Tired of knowing I'm meant for more and doing nothing about it. I've been tiptoeing around my potential, afraid to wake it, and now I'm mad, because stuckness isn't always stillness. Sometimes it's pressure, building, waiting to release. And maybe I'm not lazy. Maybe I've just been blocked. But who's in charge of removing that block? Me. So I let this anger rise, because anger is focus. It says I want more than this, and wanting is power. Even if I don't know what to do with it yet, at least I feel something again, and I allow myself to feel it, and when it's time, to cool. When the fire cools, I sit in the ashes, and instead of fighting, I begin reflecting. What if I wasn't actually failing all this time? What if I was healing in a way I didn't recognize? Because sometimes healing feels like nothing, like stillness, like stuck. But inside, the rewiring was already happening. I just couldn't see it. And maybe all those quiet days were doing something. Not in the outer world, but in the inner architecture of my being. Rebuilding what I needed to actually move. What if I don't need to fix anything? Just recognize what's already changing. Wouldn't it be nice if I softened the pressure on myself and trusted the quiet as much as I trusted the effort? Maybe it's not about forcing motion. Maybe it's about restoring alignment first. Because action born from misalignment is just more noise. But action born from truth, that's momentum. Now I let go. Not in defeat, but in wisdom. Stillness isn't failure. Stillness is what comes before flight. This is the breath before the leap. The moment before the orchestra plays. And it's okay to float here. Not lost, just gathering. I don't need a plan right now. I don't need to hustle or explain or produce. I need to let my nervous system exhale. Because when I stop gripping so tightly, things start moving again. Life can't flow if I'm clenching. What if this isn't stuckness at all, but sacred recalibration? What if nothing is wrong and never was? And if I really believed that, even for a moment, peace would land, and I would let it. Because I deserve rest. I deserve stillness. This is the halfway point, and it's beautiful here. Now I feel something changing. Not outside me, inside. Not all at once, but it's clear. Something is no longer as tight as it was. I breathe easier. Not because life suddenly got better, but because I stopped holding everything so tightly. Before, I was waiting to feel good after something changed. Now I wonder, what if feeling better is what creates the change? If that's true, and this slight relief isn't meaningless, it's momentum. And I notice, I don't feel as hopeless as before. Not because I solved anything, but because I remembered I can shift focus. When I stopped staring at the problem, I made space for something else. So now I ask, what if I don't need to leap? What if I just need to turn? Even slightly. Because when I shift the direction of my focus, even by a few degrees, everything changes down the line. I can start imagining what it might feel like if things began to improve. And even though part of me says, don't get your hopes up, another part of me replies, what if hope is exactly what's been missing? I've spent so much time managing disappointment that I forgot how to let myself look forward to something. And maybe that's what's beginning now. Not blind hope, but honest curiosity. That tiny sense that something better might be coming. And I can feel that. Not all the way, but enough. Enough to keep going. As I keep going, I begin to feel steadier. It's like I'm remembering something I didn't even know I forgot. I look back, and I see how many things I've already made it through. Some of them I didn't think I could survive, and yet I did. So if I've done it before, why not now? Why would this moment be different from the others, unless it's because I now have more awareness than I ever had before? And if I have more awareness, then I also have more power. That changes everything. And now I start to notice something else. The stuckness wasn't proof I failed. It was proof I was growing out of something that no longer fit. I didn't lose momentum because I was lazy. I lost it because I was no longer willing to lie to myself about what I truly wanted. That pause, that fog, it came when I was still trying to walk forward while doubting my direction. But now I'm facing the right way. So even a small step feels real. I don't need to sprint. I don't need to impress anyone. I just need to keep choosing thoughts that feel like me. Because every time I feel a little more like myself, I take back a little more strength. And I'm doing that now, not with effort, but with clarity. I remember who I am, and that changes the way I move forward. Not like I'm recovering from failure, but like I'm returning to power. Now I feel clear. And this clarity isn't loud, but it's deep. I don't need to fight to feel better, because I am better. I know it because I feel ready to move again. And not in circles, forward. What felt like a wall was never a wall. It was a door I hadn't opened yet. Now I'm opening it, because I finally believe in my direction again. Not because someone gave me permission, but because I listened long enough to myself. And I like what I hear now. I feel like acting. I want to clean something, fix something, write something, say something out loud that I've been holding back. Not because I should, but because I can. My will is back, and I know it's real because I don't feel like hiding anymore. I don't need to fix every detail of my life to feel free, because I already feel free right now. And that freedom fuels everything. I can imagine myself making a bold move. I can picture myself packing, leaving, calling, starting. Whatever has been waiting for my energy to return. And the only reason I feel this way now is because I took the time to realign first. That was the key. Now that I'm aligned, movement is easy. Action feels natural. And I trust myself again. Not because I became someone new, but because I came back to who I've always been. You've just completed a real emotional workout. one that didn't skip the heavy parts or ask you to fake your way through. You let yourself feel. You let yourself shift. Maybe not all the way, but even one lighter thought is momentum. And momentum doesn't need to be fast. It just needs to begin. Once it starts, it builds. That's how alignment works. This was part 3 of your free course. And if this helped you, even in a small, honest way, just imagine what 7 days of full emotional workouts could do. If you're ready to feel better, steadily, truthfully, and consistently, click below to sign up for the full free course at betterfeelingthought.com, and you'll receive 7 more daily video workouts.
To find a better feeling, thought.